For staying with us. We're talking about the echoes after the echoes of war drama. In studio with me is Walter Mong'are, who's a governance and creative expert. We are dissecting the relationship between art and politics. And just before we went for the latest in the world of sports, you're talking about, your period in campus after you started satirical plays or, action that made the government feel that is not the direction it wanted to take, and it affected your schooling. Start from there.
Let me put it this way. In most cases, drama or theater or music that is actually that sparks conversation or public debate, like our time, is naturally seen as activism. Although activism is, in a way, humanizing political issues, in my opinion. So when we started out as a team, it was about reflecting society and what we were experiencing at that time. And we felt we didn't need to go to the streets, but we would use our creativity and art to express ourselves and express what we see as injustices, what we would think that is not going right. And we were not just on government or satire alone or government officials, it's any daily life. We had acts from a landlord who's not treating their tenants right. We had tenants who are not treating the environment that they had right. One of the clips that I remember very vividly is Tony Njuguna acting as a guy who has rented a premise and he lives with his cows in the house because it's his premise, and so what can the landlord do? He's paying for it. So we were not so much about just aspects of political leadership and everything. It's all about societal issues or what we thought needed to be expressed in an artistic way for us to change. And so what would have been the best medium to use then is laugh about ourselves, and in the process get things to change. I remember in our days, we did one act about how tedious it was to get a passport. Okay. And how you needed to get the chief to sign for you a form for you to take to Nyayo House to get a passport. And when you go to the chief pulls out an Arambe book and puts on the table and says, first utoe Arambe kidogo and then akusainie your form. By the time you get to Nyayo House, you even don't have money for the passport that you're looking for. And because Ridiculous as a show was a family show and everybody watched it, the following day when we went to Nyayo House, things changed. the way people were doing things. So it wasn't so much about lampooning or caricaturing or making fun of somebody, but it's a reflection of what as a society. And in doing that, of course, there's what we call the tip of the ice in terms of what was the attraction is the presidential act and the dance. And not everybody took it positively. It's said today that the late President Moi used to enjoy the show. We don't know about that because we never sat with him to watch. But I'm told that one time when the so-called the people who hang around the president and who have a critical eye to things that are happening, went and told the president, these boys are making fun of you and they need to be taken against them. And I'm told Mzee in his comical way, he said, hao vijana wanajitafutia unga waja waendelee na hiyo ni maendeleo. And it's said that we were left to be where we are today. Yes.
You're talking about regulation then, and you're saying these are people who are critical of whatever the touches of the government. The echoes of war saga has exposed flaws, let's say in the Kenya National Drama Festivals, in the way they settle adjudication disputes, and to what some will call state interference. And now there's been talk about regulation. Do you think regulation really is the way to go? Regulating and much scrutiny having been put on the scripts and who's directing the scripts and coming up with the plays, is that really the way to go?
As a person who advocates for good governance, as a person who in the previous, of course, I've acted as president. I have worked for the presidency as an advisor, and I've ran for the presidency. a bit for a very short time when I was cleared in 2022 for only 6 days and it was revoked, I would look at government as the same voice in the processes of the citizenry. I would look at it from a question
What do you mean the government is the same voice?
in the sense that they are the custodians of the constitution and the regulations and the laws.
The government?
Okay? Yes, the government. It is the custodian of the constitution. Is it the custodian of rules and regulations that govern the people, the citizenry? Okay? Unless you want to guide me further, that's what I know. And so in instances that, like what you're talking about, the echoes of war, it's natural for the people who have regulations wanting to keep what they call regulations, where they feel that a certain play that has provocative art scenes may inspire protest or something.
But it's there in the Constitution. Freedom of expression. And this is artistic expression.